Hello Blue Collar Preppers, this is Aaron Pellet coming to you with a special video blog because I cut the heck out of myself and it's very difficult to type like this. So I'm video blogging it instead. Last week, I think it was last week, I did an unboxing video of the Puukko and I mentioned that the Puukko was very similar to the Swedish Mora. And I figured, well, let's do a video comparison. This is the one that I got last week. As you can see, it's got that very rounded tip, which is good for cutting, but not really good for stabbing and piercing. The Mora, it's got a cutout right there. It's got a very pronounced point. This is more of a spear shape. This is really good for poking and piercing. So this is good for, well, skinning or anything involving, an animal. I don't want to say it's good for killing. I'll get to that in a minute. But you can see it's far more of a weapon shape. This, while there's no doubt you can cut somebody with it, this is much more of a tool shape. They are pretty similar otherwise. The Mora has a 3.9-inch carbon steel blade. This is the Mora Knife Classic #1. This is about $15 on Amazon. The Camp Knife, the blade is slightly smaller. It's only 3.6 inches. It's also made of carbon steel. It's $16. But they share a characteristic that I don't like, and that is there's no real way to protect your fingers. This is slick wood. There's no cross guards. If you're trying to poke into something and you meet some resistance, it's very, very easy for your fingers to go whoops and cut yourself. Like I did. The Camp Knife is made of slick plastic. Yeah, you've got that little finger nub there, but I know from experience that you can quite easily slip off. And the natural tendency of the hand is to grab onto something, and you can cut yourself. I would not consider either of these really good knives because of that one characteristic. They lack a finger guard. This is the Mora Knife Clipper 840. This is my own personal knife. I have many like it. I love the Mora Clipper to death. This one is also 3.9 inches. It's also carbon steel. It's also $15 on Amazon. It was cheaper, around $12 or $13, but inflation has caused it to go up. If you can find it for cheaper, get one. They're fantastic. And yes, it's got the little tiny nub, which isn't a good cross guard, but here's the important thing. That grip, that's a nice grippy rubber texture. Feels really good in the hand, and it grips the hand very well. So between that texture and this nub, I'm not going to say it's impossible to slip off, but it's very, very difficult. I have far more confidence using this knife than I have using either of these two. Now, there are other types of Mora you can buy. Many of them have cross guards. There's one that's a lot like this, but it has a metal tine sticking up above and below. That's good. If you want an old-fashioned type, get one of those. If you want something that's a little bit more modern, you can get one that's also cheaper. I'm blanking on the name of it, unfortunately. I'll include a link in the notes below. But there's one, it's got a smaller blade, it's got a plastic handle, and it's got a little plastic hook down at the bottom designed to catch your fingers. So again, you won't slide forward and cut the heck out of yourself. So, the moral of the story here, kids, is that if you are choosing a camp knife, get one that will protect your fingers. because I had a heck of a time when I cut myself. Okay, I got the gauze, but finding the surgical tape and the medicine cabinet was a pain. It had gotten pushed way in the back. So it's black because I found electrical tape, because I know where the electrical tape is. Now, that was awkward just by itself. Now, imagine you're out in the woods, or, Lord help you, in a survival situation where you cut yourself. And so now you're applying direct pressure to the wound. All right, you've stopped it from bleeding, but now you've got to bandage it. So you're going to get into your bug-out bag using this. You're going to open the bag. You're going to pull out the first aid kit with, yeah, see, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's going to be really awkward. You're going to get blood everywhere. So the main moral is have something that'll protect your fingers. Second moral of the story is have a first aid kit that includes tape and gauze, and have it really, really handy. If you've got a trauma kit, great. Make sure you've got boo-boo stuff in it as well, because I wasn't going to use an Israeli bandage on this either. So there you go. That is my quick and easy video on the differences between the Mora and the Puukko, and why you shouldn't get these and you should get this. Thus endeth the lesson. Thank you, and have a great weekend.